All right, so we are back in sunny South Africa here with Colin, Norman, and Johnny Nathan. Welcome back to SA Boxing Talk again. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was sick last week, all the travel and everything, but yeah, good. Back at it, gym, working hard. You look good. Nice haircut.
Thank you. You know, Japan obviously slimmed me down, and nice haircut from you in Japan.
Yeah, you're looking quite the good-looking guy. But and also, like, I'm glad your camera's okay, because at the castle, I nearly,
Let's not talk about the castle.
No, let's talk about the castle. How upset were you out of 10 with the lens?
Sure, I was about maybe half as upset as I was in Saudi.
That's pretty upset. That's pretty
high on the Richter scale.
Yeah.
So for people at home, just to clarify, my whole camera messed it up. You couldn't see shit on the camera. And I thought my camera was destroyed in the middle of the Japan trip.
Yeah, but Bernie calmed you down. It was okay.
Very understanding guy.
Very understanding guy.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so Cole, I mean, we're back here in South Africa. A lot of things on the go again. I'm sure you've been very busy in your time.
Well, we don't have a boxing board at the moment, which is quite crazy. I understand why. It's going to be interesting to see the next couple of weeks and few weeks as to what the minister decides to do. It's just, obviously, there was a lot of legal work that had to go on, and I'm not so sure that's going to happen anymore. So, yeah, I mean, we came back, the board was kind of dissolved. So, interesting times for South African boxing. But I think still positive. Still positive, yeah.
I guess, what does that mean for like future tournaments, though? I mean, do you see it being resolved?
Yeah, I think it's going to be resolved. I can't see this being forever, and I think the turnaround time is going to be pretty quick if I have to think about it and be honest, yeah.
All right, quick reflection back to Japan. Lorato lights out Glamini, split decision.
Yeah, I was so proud of his performance. I mean, the 5th round, he was hurt, got back up. When I watched the fight again, like, he actually defensively was really, really good. 1:45 left on the clock when he went down. There was a lot of time left in the round. I mean, you saw me grab the towel because I was just, like, obviously concerned about where he was, but he did so well to the point where he got back up, fought his heart off, heart out. Just such a courageous performance, and won the next round. And if you looked at the actual scores, the official scores, the one judge had him winning 5 of the last 7. So it's just phenomenal performance. South Africans should be very proud of his performance, and he should too.
On the lighter side of things, I would have loved to obviously interview. I know he's back home in the Free State right now as Lorato, but on the lighter side of things, he lost his passport halfway through the trip on the way back home.
Yeah, that was an absolute fuck up. So for the viewers watching this, so we flew into Abu Dhabi, and then we were literally about to board our next flight. And then, like, Lorato literally, like, just stopped. Suddenly, it was like, shit, I've lost my passport. And we had, like, an hour and a half to go in. Yeah. It was, like, quite frantic.
Lucky enough, yeah.
And thank God he found it. But it slipped out his pocket in the plane. And I was like, dude, like, what the fuck? It was just like, it was just nail-biting.
Yeah.
Probably more nerve-wracking than it was for the actual fight, actually.
I think that's what he said as well. And mind you, those cover pants did have zips on them as well. So I think lesson learned with regards to
Lorato, there's no excuse. Like, fuck. Shannon's done shit like that as well. Like, okay. He's just so forgetful and lost scope. So, yeah. But, yeah, thank God he got it. And, yeah, we came back home.
All right. And, yeah, all back home. And obviously, Lorato, in the next coming weeks or months, we'll find out like what his future is going to be like, what you're going to do.
So very solid. I'm very, very upbeat on Lorato's future. I think he is world class, and we'll get him back in contention. And I'm just so impressed with him. Just everything, his attitude, the way he pressed those last few rounds. He really wanted it. And again, it's a split decision. I thought the referee had a really off night. Should have been a point deduction or 2, would have changed the outcome of the fight. But I really, really wasn't happy. I'm not happy with the way the referee handled that fight at all.
Yeah, I think you mentioned in the post-fight clip that we did, he had a bit of an off night.
Yeah, and Katz really is a really good official. I just think he had an off night. It's one of those things.
All right, fair enough. And back to South African boxing really quickly. We got Boxing 5 coming up. Larry, we did an interview with him. He broke down the tournament. It's a nice development tournament with a headline with Sequence, which he's making a comeback after that Mexican result. What do you think of the tournament as a whole?
I think it's stacked talent-wise. I think the matches are very competitive. I think AB Manisi's done an exceptionally good job. There's been a lot of hard work. Obviously, our international broadcaster, DAZN, is going to be doing the event. Very excited about that. And obviously, we're nurturing our relationship with them. We did the African broadcast rights for Dlamini and Kamida, which was really, really good for us. And I just think that obviously streaming, you know how I feel about it in the future of boxing. So there's that. I think there's some really talented young kids. I'm very happy to see some Muller back on the scene. Josh Feldman. I mean, like, I could go through all the talent, but there's a lot of talent that I feel that's stacked for the night. And, you know, as Larry said, we initially wanted the 21st. And then DAZN said to me, "Are you going up against AJ and Dubois?" And I was like, maybe we should bring it forward, you know?
Yeah.
So they were accommodating with us.
I was about to say, Colin, that would be a big shame for Dubois and AJ if they had to compete on the same night.
Well, listen, you know, African boxing's on the rise, dude. So, and that's a pay-per-view, isn't it?
Yeah, explosive.
Okay, it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you can watch the content free on DAZN. So, you know, what are you going to do? No, I'm joking. I think it's going to do massive numbers. And what a great fight. What an amazing fight.
And who do you have for that?
You got to go with AJ. You got to go with AJ. I think there's always that situation in boxing. What if he connects? What if Dubois connects? And I think if he does, we could see AJ getting hurt, maybe even getting dropped.
Do you see him coming back if he gets hurt?
Well, we've seen it before, just not against Andy Ruiz. But Dubois can really kick it back. I mean, you can ask Kevin Arena, he'll tell you. But there's vulnerability. There's vulnerability in both fighters, and I think that's what sells the fight. Both are massive punchers, big boys, but the vulnerability in the heavyweight, particularly the heavyweights, I think is a very big selling point. So whoever lands, like it's a situation of, can Dubois knock out AJ? Absolutely. And can it go the other way? Absolutely. Because they're such big punches. And I think that's what makes the fight so intriguing. But you've got to give it a little bit more to the seasoned AJ. I just think he's on a roll now, you know, with Ben Davison, who's a very assertive, aggressive trainer with him. And would it be a massive upset if AJ loses? I don't think so, but I would think it would be an upset.
Yeah, also Dubois seems like he's on a new level now as well. I mean, ever since that time where he fought Joe Joyce as well, and their careers have gone in completely opposite directions.
Yeah, I mean, Joyce is like, it's like crazy what's happened to his career now.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving back, we got two massive fights, sort of double hitters, you know, Sivanati Nonshinga, Pumlela Kafu. Huge fights, both of them. Sivanati is a world champion. Kafu is fighting for a world championship. I don't know if you can say which is a bigger fight, but they're just huge fights.
Well, how's this? It's South African boxing history in Asia where two credible and legitimate world championships happen within a space of 48 hours. It's just a massive moment for South African boxing. I'm very proud of the work that we've done to put this together. Myself and Boxing 5, and just obviously working with Kamida again. It's obviously a great business relationship. And then Tekken for Kafu versus Tanaka. I also want to do the announcement that SA Boxing Talk will be joining us, which you didn't know about.
Oh shit! Okay,
No,
okay.
no.
So, well, guys, SA Boxing Talk's going to be on the road. Wow, thank you, Cole. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's another massive, massive feather.
I mean, that's the whole interview now. That's the jar. It's all about jar.
Who cares about the boxes? So,
Yeah,
no, I'm
no.
joking.
So I just wanted to actually break the news on the interview.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Cole. Obviously, Japan's the best country I've ever been to, and I'm sure this is going to be another big one again.
Bro, you seem like, for a lack of words, just slow down, relax. It's okay. Some panada there if you want.
Thanks. Where is it? No, I'm joking. No, Nagoya and Tokyo.
So obviously the camps are going to be split, but obviously because of the bullet train, we'll be able to do both events.
Can you explain the splits?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is it's going to be Sivanati, his dad, myself, Bernie, you. We're going to be going to Nagoya, and then Larry, Pumalela, Shannon, and Mike Altamira from Australia is going to be representing Pumalela for me with Larry. And I just thought it was a stroke of genius because Mike knows the environment. He's worked with Mr. Honda. He knows the culture. And I thought it was very important that Shannon, Pumalela, and Larry get settled in straight away to Japan. and also because Mike knows how to deal with media, the press there. And the other point is that Larry's going to be bullet training between Tokyo and Nagoya because he wants to see Sive. So I just thought it would be ideal to have someone who's familiar with the culture and obviously familiar with the structure of how things are run to bring Mike Altamira in.
Yeah, and he was there for Lorenzo Latside Glumini. I know he was there with TJ for the monster fight, but he came in the corner for the
and Mike and I go back 20 years. Like we're very solid, good friends. One of my best friends in boxing, and I trust him. So I actually had the idea a few weeks back, and I said to Mike, would you be able to accommodate me on this? And he said, like, Cole, just let me know. So that's how we're going to structure the trips. Just a question of now, how do we plan on, when are we arriving? So both contracts are different. So it looks like Sivanati and that team's going to fly out first, and then afterwards, Team Alpha is going to join Mike in Tokyo. So yeah, I think it's a 2.5 hour bullet train ride between the two. So there's just obviously, there's press commitments, there's media workouts, and that obviously I just can't be between both. So when I negotiated this fight for Phumelela, we knew that we'd have to take 2 teams with.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's extremely massive. And as I said, I mean, both are huge fights. So Sivanati is the one that comes first. That takes place in Nagoya. We saw the advertising for him while we were in Japan with the Kameda camp as well. They were busy advertising on the screens. I think it was Ebida, how do you say that network that they use there? Abima was advertising the fight between Yabuki and Nonshinga. So they're making a really big deal out of the fight, which it is. It's a world title fight. And then Matchroom obviously represents Sivanati.
Yeah, so it was put together, funnily enough, it was done by Midori Promotions. And then the rights were given over to Kameda Promotions in conjunction with, obviously, Matchroom and my company, no doubt. And then so that's pretty much the shift in promotion. And then obviously Tekken is with Phumelela versus Tanaka.
Wow. And then obviously your dealings with Mr. Honda over the years got a greater relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with Mr. Honda. We have a very good relationship. A special relationship, I can say.
The first fight you're going to have with Phumelela is going to be the world title shot. So did you expect that?
He wanted it. I got to provide the service for my athletes. I mean, the fighter wants to fight for the world title. I got to deliver. So I didn't think it'd be straight away. But what was interesting was, and I think I discussed this with you in Japan, that when Phumelela joined me and there was a news piece on Boxing Scene, I actually sent that to Mr. Honda and I said, look, Phumelela's joined me. Let's do business. And he said to me, Colin, give me a few months, and here we are now fighting for the world title. So I didn't think it would happen so soon, but I knew we were in the mix. And I worked really, really hard to get this over the line for Phumelela. And even when we got the opportunity, I said, dude, we're not there yet. Just give me a few days to put this together. And we got it over the line. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and obviously the weather's going to be nice there in Japan. We'll go into the autumn season as well, so the boxes will still be in really good condition. Not going to be cold. I know Japan can get really cold in winter.
Yeah, I can, but just Japan, as you know, it's an incredible environment. I've never been to Nagoya. It's going to be my first time there with everyone, and I know it's in Yabuki's backyard. But again, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Like the thing is, Hayden, like yes, the economy is one thing. But if you really want to be good, or if you really want to be great, you've got to go in these environments and you've got to take on these challenges. Last week, funny enough, this week when I went to see my doctor, he said to me, why don't you just defend at home and make easy money? And I was like, no, it doesn't work that way. If you want to be great, you got to dare to be great. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with accepting major challenges. And we want to fight the best. And that's just the way boxing should work.
Oh no! Also, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Sivanati obviously is the IBF world champion. It seems like he's the only world champion in that division at the moment. Would it be easy to make a unification fight with no other champions?
Well, obviously they have to contest for the championships, and then afterwards, depending on who obviously wins the belts, I'm pretty confident we can make those fights happen. All the other champions moved up, so it is what it is. Can't cry over spilt milk. We wanted the unification. Yeah. We wanted Gonzalez. We wanted to, but they moved up. and now we get the next best thing, and that's mandatory defense.
Yeah, and obviously one of the guys that was supposed to be on the international stage was Siko, but he's now on the main event of Boxing 5 Promotions, and he's going to be building towards an international career again. What's the plans with him?
Yeah, getting back in the winning column. I think he's got a tough opponent from Namibia, who's durable. I expect Nkotoli to win. It's a question of how is he going to win. You know, is he going to sweep all the rounds, which he can because he's got great boxing ability and skills. Can he force a stoppage? For me, the most important thing now is he's number 12 in the IBF, just to get him back in the winning column so we can start getting him up in the ratings again and get him in contention for an eliminator. I still think the world of his ability. I think the Mexico loss, which was so tight, it did take us back. I mean, I can't bullshit you and say, you know, it's not that, you know, it did take us back a bit. But as long as he keeps winning now and we get him in position, I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things was, you know, obviously good representation. You know, he was just badly advised in the last fights, and you know that can make or break a boxer's career.
It does, and sometimes, you know, it's a bad decision just fucks everything up. But again, you know, not all is lost. Like I'm saying, he's still highly rated, and we're just, you know, keep him in the winning column, get him back in the winning column, get him in position, and then, you know, please God, let him fight for an eliminator.
All right, and then beyond the sort of timelines of Japan, is that where we're looking at? Is there anything beyond that you know you wanted to announce?
No, not right now. Not right now. I'm just busy, obviously, very focused on those events.
Potentially something.
Yeah, I am working on one or two things. I'm just waiting for one or two decisions to be made, and you know, we'll see. We'll take it from there. But like right now, it's just focused on those 3 events.
Okay. Jackie Bryce was here earlier, and he's obviously a Western Cape promoter primarily, and he was in the gym. He had a meeting here in the office with Larry as well. What happened?
Yeah, he's obviously wants to start a synergy with Boxing 5. He's talking about bringing a couple of fighters over. Sorry, not a couple, a few fighters over. Wants me to manage them. So I obviously had a very fruitful meeting. Larry was in the mix as well. And we'll look at it. You know, we'll obviously look at it. There's one kid down in Cape Town that he's raving about who I've done commentary on. I'm very impressed with. And, you know, I'm going to be in Cape Town soon. It's my son's matric dance. I'm going to spend an extra night down there to stay for the show. And then we can get the paperwork out the way and take a look at the kid and see you know, what the future holds. But I've known Jack since I was a kid. So it's good to be doing some business with him.
All right, fantastic. And I think that's all for today. And obviously we're looking forward. And thank you again for Japan.
Yeah.
You know, Japan.
Massive announcement. Massive.
On
the same kind of level as Nanchinga and Afro, right?
Yeah, close.
No, okay.
No, but that's, I mean, look, at the end of the day, their stories are going to be captured and they'll have their history.
Two birds at the bar. Shot, bro.